Well, it was the first day of full pads here in spring practice. Hi, Sean Callahan for HuskerOnline.com. And, you know, kind of the mood coming out of this from the coaching staff as we talked with the offensive coaches is it was your typical first day in pads.
Yeah, there was good intensity, good enthusiasm. Offensively, we came out sluggish. And sometimes when you put the pads on and you put thigh pads and knee pads, sometimes offensively you have that mentality, I'm putting more weight on. And we didn't come out and we didn't attack the day. We didn't attack. The defense came out, they attacked. We started too slow. And I tell the guys all the time, you know, if we start that way in a game, we're down 14-0. In this league, the schedule we play, we've got to, when we step on that field, we've got to attack and be ready to go. And we really weren't early on in practice.
Yeah, it was fine today. Like I said earlier, the defense, I thought the defense played with just a little bit higher intensity than the offense. And, you know, that's well to come. I mean, every place I've been early on, and when we put pads on, the defense has kind of played a little bit tougher and a little bit more passion than the offense did. So we're going to put the tape on these guys later on, show them, and we'll be better on Saturday.
And naturally, as we sit here now through 3 spring practices, the conversation is still directed towards the quarterback position.
They're absorbing a lot of information, trying to piece it together, but they're doing well, you know. And they're working hard at it, and we have to make sure that they do, as we talked about this before, is what they get in the classroom, we have to take it to the field, right? Whether in pajamas or, you know, the pads are on today, and then when the bullets start flying, and then when there's scrimmage, and then obviously you guys know when there's a game. All that stuff has to transfer.
You rep it fairly equally right now. I mean, how do you?
Yeah. We make sure we do a nice job taking track of that, so that's important for that to happen.
So do you put different quarterbacks with that first group, or how do you?
No. It's really in my brain. There's no groups, and then interestingly enough, you know, if let's say a first team quarterback is working with the third team, let's say as moving down the line, if that were to ever happen, well, you gotta have to learn how to operate, you know, when things are breaking down. So that's not necessarily a bad thing, but right now, no, they're just. We've got them all pieced together in terms of where they are, and we're rotating guys in terms of who's got, quote-unquote, that first set and so on and so forth.
And sticking on that topic of quarterbacks, one of the more interesting storylines has been Noah Vedral and kind of what he's meant, the fact that he was Frost's #2 quarterback a year ago at Central Florida. He's been real key in this transition.
I think you guys have done a great job recognizing the fact that he's been a tremendous resource for the guys, both in practice, when we first got here, when we were on the road. What does this mean? What does that mean? What's that number mean? How do I run this? And so on and so forth. So he's been invaluable from that standpoint. But then again, you have to remember that he knows this thing forward and backwards, you know, because he was required to know this thing forward and backwards, and that is the thing that really allowed him to play as a true freshman. So it's been awesome. Yeah.
And if there is one thing that has jumped out about these first few days, is it's just how much further ahead this team is with the transition because of the fact this coaching staff has been there and done that.
I can smile on this one here because we're night and day ahead of here at Nebraska where we were at UCF. And we as coaches kind of, when we get in the locker room, we're getting in meetings, you know, we all revert back to our first couple days at UCF when we started trying to install stuff that, you know, we were all scratching our head like, what do we got ourselves into? But these guys are a lot closer as far as where we need to be, you know, so we're, as a coaching staff, we're not discouraged at all. These guys are a lot, you know, more advanced than we were at UCF.
But yeah, we're a lot farther along because every one of the coaches came up and we've done this install before. Now, we're not a well-oiled machine out there. No way. I mean, the defense had a great day today. You know, we had our spots. But, I mean, let's be honest, if we're just running up and down the field on our defense after day 3, that's probably not a good thing, you know. So, you know, there's you know, obviously we're selfish and want to be, you know, executing at the highest level, but it takes a little more time. But guys are going where they're supposed to be, but they're drowning right now because we're giving them a lot. I mean, I can't show you the install, but it's like a whole page of stuff, you know, and so they got to learn it. But we'd rather have them drown now, and then we can fix the details in the meetings.
As for the running back position, it might be one of the better battles going on this spring, as there are about 3 or 4 guys that are going to battle for that position, and Ryan Held said he's keeping a pretty open mind.
And I've told him this, I think I've maybe said this before, I maybe watched 4 plays from last year. I don't care what happened last year. You know, I mean, maybe it's an exaggeration, maybe it's 10, I don't know, but you know, don't hold me to the 4. But I mean, the bottom line is I didn't, because I don't know what they were told last year. So I'm going to give each one of these guys a fair chance. And what I've seen is guys have worked hard in the weight room, they've trimmed their bodies down, and they're working hard on the practice field. And, you know, we're asking them to do something different than they were asked to do last year. So until I see anything differently, I'm going to give each one of these guys a fair chance. So, you know, at the end of the day, yeah, last year was last year, this year is this year, and we're just going to keep working and getting these guys confident, because I think they're good football players. I'm not, you know, it wasn't productive last year, but they can be productive this year. I believe that they can get it done.
The Huskers will be off Friday. They come back for spring practice number 4 on Saturday. With the Huskers in Lincoln, I'm Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com.